Chisora Fury. Where do you think the winner lies? I know you've said the one with the most skill, the most determination.
I'm Derek's manager.
Of course, and you're going to back your man.
I want Derek for me is he's a real warrior. And when you look at the way he's done it, and look at some of the bad decisions that he's had against him, like that Lanius fight, he was number one in the world at the time. It's a disgusting decision. He won that, but all that stuff is great experience for him. Not only is it, I hate to say character building, but it is. It shows you what you've got to do to win fights. It also he's been in with good quality opposition, far better opposition than Vitaly Klitschko's fault or his brother's fault, Vladimir, in their last few fights. He fought better quality operators, and I think that that will stand me good stead against Tyson Fury. Their first fight, Tyson deserved to win it. He trained for the fight and he won it, and no one can take it away from him. Derek came in overweight. That's his fault. No excuses. Best man won on the night. It's a different scenario now. Derek's a changed guy. He's changed the way he lives as far as his dietary requirements. He's a father. He's matured mentally, and I think that makes him a different boxer altogether. The other side of it, so's Tyson. Tyson's come on since that win. He's shown that he can get on the floor, he can get off the floor. He's got, he's a brave guy like Derek, brave guy. So I think you've got two fellas there who've got, don't want to lose, will give everything, will give their 100%, but more importantly, know that the winner is going to get a crack at the world title on decent terms, i.e. they're going to be mandatory challenger. It's not going to be a voluntary defence, and Klitschko won't be able to duck him. That's what makes this fight such an intriguing fight, such an exciting fight, such a dynamic fight, and that's what makes, for me, that Derek can get through this.
There was a bit of a cheeky reference to the fact from a certain camp, I won't mention, that Anthony Joshua could probably get in with easier now. He might not have the experience, but he has the tools. That seems to be the thought process. Your thoughts?
Well, if I was involved with Anthony Joshua, and by the way, I like Anthony Joshua, so let's get it right. I would love to have signed him. However, why would you even talk? How many fights he had now? 5 or 6 fights? 6. Why would you even go down that road and even say that? Why put that pressure on him? Anthony Joshua, I'm sure, will come through at the end of the day and do what he's got to do. I'm hearing he's been on the floor a couple of times in sparring, but people say things in this business, so you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. But having said all of that, Anthony, I think, is a really good talent, and hopefully the people who he's trusted, he's putting his career in their hands, will be able to guide him correctly and bring him through. They've not done it with any fighter yet, so. But maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, he's a good quality young fighter. But they shouldn't even put that pressure on him. It's ridiculous.
Let's talk about a fight that you're guiding well, I might say, Billy Joe. How frustrating is it when they get injured and you know that they could achieve so much at this point in their career? And most notably, what do you learn about that fighter mentally? Physically, we know what he's about, but during that period, what do you learn about him mentally?
I think, from a mental point of view, it's obviously very frustrating. And what the problem is, when a fighter, especially if they haven't got great discipline into what their dietary requirements are and so on, they balloon up. And then you get to a fight, and what they're doing, they're training to make the weight rather than training for a fight, which is not good thing to do. Bill, hopefully the penny's dropped there, and he knows that's not the case. He's probably 18 months behind schedule. He's been out for a while. He's had operations on his hand. He hasn't fought since last September, so he'll be nearly a year, 10 months out the ring, and he's come in against a guy who's 22-0. We're virtually eliminated for the world title, so it's a tough call for him. But you know what? He fought in Beijing. The Olympians need to be stepping up now to be winning world titles or be fighting for world titles. So him, Frankie Gavin, and James DeGale, that's where they need to be. And Bill's capable of doing that. Just to say these little hiccups along the way. Hopefully he's learnt from them. It's character building or whatever you want to call it. But they are things that, as far as I'm concerned, that you have to deal with as a fighter. It's not ideal, but you have to deal with it. And if that's going to make you a better fighter, you learn from it. You can, you start understanding your body, understand what you need to do to your body. And I was using it at the press conference today. You're a Rolls Royce. Don't put diesel in me. Put the best juice in me. Live the life. Have the right mechanics around you, and that's what he needs. And you know, he's capable of doing it, and it's up to him. I can open all the doors, his trainer can do all the things he needs to do. Bottom line now, whatever happens to Billy Joe Saunders is literally in his fist.
Got a bit of a war of words going on with old Eubank there. That's obviously something that's going to flourish and take us forward in the future. But what do you think about the antipathy between the two? Good for the sport, bad for the sport. Really, should they be looking at each other? I mean, they seem to be in such different places.
Well, I agree with you. You know, young Chris was a decent talent, very decent talent. He had a very good performance, I thought, last time. You know, Bill's British, Commonwealth, European, fighting, you know, #1 spot. Is Chris ready for that? I don't know. I really don't know. But he's going to be stepping up his opponents over his next few fights, I'm sure of that. And him and Bill down the road is a natural fight. I don't think there's any love lost there, and I think that's for various things that have been said. But at the end of the day, that's nothing unusual in boxing.
What do you make? How do you assess Eubank's career so far? I mean, he's fighting 8 rounders, he's 15 fights in. Is that where you would like to see a fighter?
No, I think he should be stepped up now. He should at least be having a 10-round fight. And I think within the next 2 or 3 fights, he should be fighting for a title. That's my opinion. But I'm not his manager.
So far, what do you reckon?
I think you know, he's had 3 fights for me in the last few months.
Yeah.
He's looked good in all of them. He's gone out and done what he's had to do. I thought his last fight was spectacular. He was tremendous punching through, caught the guy with. I think he's very exciting. I think he is an exciting young fighter, and he does need to be stepped up. There's no doubt about that.
His dad knew how to market a fight, didn't he? Do you think he's taken a leaf or 2 out of his book?
I think that, you know, obviously his dad's a huge influence there. He's I don't know what you would call him, de facto manager or whatever. I know he's taken the seconds license out now, so I expect him to be in the corner for his next fight. Maybe he won't be, but you know, Chris really does believe in his son. I mean, I've had a conversation with him. He really, really does believe it. He really thinks all the things that are being said, he believes it.
When you look across the middleweights globally, the names, the marquee names, how far off are those 2 fighters?
Well, if Bill comes through against the Italian, and I hope he does come through, I really do think he's got a great chance against Quinn. Quinn's a good puncher. He's a very good puncher. I think someone with a boxing brain, I think can, you know, and they got the discipline to keep to their boxing, I think can beat him. And it's been interesting to see when somebody really puts it on him.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Hard work, dedication. Hard work. Dedication. Hard work. Dedication. And that's what we stick to.